Welcome. We are going to read today. This is the book that I am reading, and I am currently in chapter 2. And chapter 2 is about beliefs. It's a weird place where I'm starting, but I'm going to start anyways. These truths are absolute. They are for us like water is to a fish. Indisputable. Givens. They are immovable. They exist even in the absence of belief in them, creating the stage we live our lives upon. Of course, it could be said that these are merely my beliefs, and frankly, I have very little concrete evidence to convince you that they are true, especially since they're not physically measurable. But must something be physically measurable to know with certainty of its existence? Is not being able to physically prove you dreamed of red of a red Corvette last night proof that you didn't? Is it unreasonable to ask that we look at our own lives for evidence of these truths? Is it not evident that my postulated absolutes are each empowering, that I do not have an agenda other than to free you from self-imposed limitations, that unlike many religious doctrines, I exclude no one under any circumstances from the beauty of these truths? Do they not resonate deep within you? Have they not been uttered and shared by countless others throughout the ages, using words and metaphors that fit the times? If this kind of thinking is new for you, you may well have some hesitation in accepting it. But I can tell you that as an extreme student of life, in the past 30 years, I have thought of and sought out every imaginable challenge to these absolutes. And with time, and through expanding my own thinking widely outside of the box, they have withstood every assault. Moreover, I can use them to understand and handily explain any life scenario. To master your thoughts and imagination, and therefore your life and destiny, you must first master their captain, your beliefs. Within these truths, actually, because of these truths, we are limitless in virtually any way we can imagine, unless we believe otherwise. And then suddenly, we've got rules, limits, and conditions. Even while these absolutes will not bend, because they do not bend, the experiences and manifestations they make possible have to. The tricky aspect of beliefs is that without our even knowing it, they limit what we allow ourselves to think, and therefore what we can then manifest into our lives. They obscure the fact that things could be different. For instance, if you believe that life's deepest secrets can be or aren't meant to be known by many, or aren't meant to be known by mortal minds, then not only will you not dwell on life's meanings, meaning and block out any new thoughts that could have drawn such answers to you, but your perceptions of what you do observe in life will be tunneled by your belief, zeroing you in on only the evidence that supports your theory. You might even say to yourself that you're open to contradictory evidence. Yet, if you don't believe it could exist based on your first belief, any evidence will be diminished and rationalized away. So your beliefs act like filters through which your very thought must be sifted. But these filters are invisible. Invisible but not unknowable. Beliefs rule. Let's pretend that beliefs are like tinted sunglasses and that your vision through those sunglasses represents thoughts you entertain through the filters of your beliefs. Doesn't everything look different color-wise when you put on those glasses? Yet, after you have them on a while, you don't even know you're wearing them. In fact, it's hard to remember what things look like without them. And the only way to remember is to take them off. Continuing this analogy, let's imagine that everyone in the world wears sunglasses and that no two people have exactly the same tint. Everyone is wearing something different. Some wear blue blocker sunglasses that make everything look yellow, while some wear red blockers, green blockers, and billions of varieties in between. Now, does the fact that everyone is wearing different sunglasses have any effect on reality, on what people see, or just on how they see it? Isn't it possible that some people will see colors, even things that are impossible for others to see? And isn't it often easier to see the glasses others wear than it is to see our own? I think you get the idea. Beliefs are exactly the same in this regard. Most of the time, we don't even know we have them, let alone how they're operating, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. When our beliefs are in alignment with our dreams, they'll serve us, but if they're not, big problem. Fortunately, beliefs are similar to sunglasses in that we don't have to wear the ones we don't like. Beliefs create a matrix of sorts, arranging and processing our thoughts systematically and without judgment, and giving us, in effect, a permission mechanism to think or not to think along certain lines. For instance, you might want something with all your heart and soul, but without believing it is possible, you simply will not and cannot maintain the thoughts necessary to bring it into fruition. This explains why it's your hopes and fears you believe to be the most plausible that you usually manifest, because they've been allowed the most play in your mind. The thoughts that exist just outside how you define plausible, whether outrageously wonderful or diabolically awful, are generally not manifested because they're far too difficult to believe in and therefore too difficult to clearly imagine and feel. Take a moment to notice what kind of thoughts you think when you're driving your car or running errands. Do you automatically see yourself being interviewed by Time magazine? Do you see yourself winning the Nobel Peace Prize? Do you imagine buying a vacation home in some exotic country halfway around the globe? Not likely. Nor, I imagine, do you think about absolute doom and destruction, unending misery and pain, or destitution and poverty. You don't think these thoughts because they're not in alignment with your beliefs, which explains why most people's lives generally stay about the same. We keep thinking the same kinds of thoughts in line with our relatively unchanging beliefs. This is also why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, not because of a truth about capitalism or a statement about our society, but because they keep thinking the same kinds of thoughts they've always been thinking, either abundance or its lack, based upon their underlying beliefs. Pace yourself. Let me follow this line of thinking with a suggestion. Since virtually all of our beliefs formed an interrelated mosaic with themselves, when there's something you want right away, don't set your goal too high, because you may not believe in it enough to begin visualizing it properly and regularly. I think you know what I mean. I'm not saying don't dream big or even huge. I'm just saying pace yourself and give yourself some intermediate intermediary goals too. For example, if right now you're driving a Toyota Corolla, you could probably better imagine owning a Mercedes as your next car than a Lamborghini. Once you get the Mercedes, aim higher and higher. All the while, of course, an exotic import can still be on your list of cars to own one day, though not necessarily with an insistence that it may be next month. By staging, by staging your dreams this way, it's even possible that your dream of eventually owning an exotic will enhance your dream of owning a Mercedes, as the Mercedes will be seen as an exciting stepping stone that will make even greater things possible. Plus, if you insist on the Lamborghini first and you don't get it due to a maze of interrelated conflicting beliefs, then you may just write off visualization altogether as just a waste of your time. Similarly, if you never take vacations but would like to, perhaps begin by imagining yourself at Disney World rather than Luxor, Egypt. If you're sick and bedridden, perhaps imagine yourself gardening, cooking, or shopping rather than winning marathons. If you're bored and lonely, imagine a friend and a having outing rather than walking the red carpet at the Academy Awards. Follow your feelings when setting goals. Be moderately reasonable for the short-term goals, and when you can, strive to understand any emotional resistance you encounter, because this resistance means you've hit some limiting beliefs that need exploring. On the other hand, if you make your goals too easy, they won't inspire you, and your visualizations of them lack emotion. Inspire yourself, just not to the point of getting psyched out. Believing leads to feeling, and feeling makes it happen faster. Beliefs also spark emotion, which, as you know from the previous chapter, helps supercharge the power of your thoughts. For instance, when beliefs about a particular something are strong enough, anticipation and expectation are aroused, accelerating the manifestation process. When you truly believe in something, good or bad, you repeatedly turn the thoughts over and over in your mind. That's for my head. What do you need? The phone isn't charging because I'm using the light right now, but when it's charged, I'll give it to you. No.
What charger are you using for the light, the pink one?
Thank you.
That might be a toy.
Forgot where I was. When you truly believe in something, good or bad, you repeatedly turn the thought over and over in your mind. With such repetition, you're then almost helplessly drawn to further imagine the joy or pain you associate with its manifestation. Emotionally, making the picture in your mind all the more real. The more real it is, the faster the manifestation. Eventually, if the beliefs is strong enough, you'll also begin physically preparing for the manifestation of its related thoughts without even noticing what you're doing. For example, your body is in preparation mode when your adrenaline races before a big event. When you begin noticing new homes before you've even decided to sell your old one, When you start looking for clothes one size smaller or larger than you presently wear, or when you mentally recite or even talk out loud to yourself the lines of some anticipated argument. These are examples of how your beliefs kick your thinking, feeling, and behavioral process into higher gear. And then, because of the underlying principle of thoughts become things, look out. Once these images are repeatedly turned over in your mind, combined with the expectation and the emotion that have also been sparked by your beliefs, the manifestation of your dream or the dread becomes virtually inevitable. It is that easy. And here's the kicker. You already do this all day, every day. There's no practice or regimen that needs to be followed. You don't have to start learning something new. You can just keep doing what you've always been doing. But by becoming aware of your miraculous feats of material manipulation, you can begin planting, feeding, and cultivating the thoughts that will blossom into your tomorrows. You make time and space look good. You are the artist who never sleeps, continually, yet unconsciously rearranging the images of your life's canvas with brushstrokes of thought, painting as brilliantly or hazardly as your beliefs allow. And here's the best part. There's nothing magical about the manifestation of thought. It's one of the steadfast principles of time and space, and it operates without exception. It works the same whether you're rich or poor. It works whether you're healthy or sick. It works whether you know about it or not. Yet, once you know about it, you can then immediately start deliberately using it to your advantage. Manifesting your thoughts into reality is nothing new. But what is magical is when someone dares to dream, when someone has the courage to think new thoughts, set new goals, set goals that are presently out of his or her immediate reach, and possesses the audacity to believe that they will come to pass. The courage to dream. Thoughts turning into things is how time and space operates. The same rules apply to all, but taking that initial leap from the known into the unknown invokes the secret behind all creation. In one golden moment, when you're giving wings to a dream that has only to land, the real work, daring to imagine, is done. The stereotypical beliefs of society and the dogmas of time, which want to confine our thinking to the safety of thoughts already thought, tell us to be conservative, prudent, and careful. But why? What is there to be afraid of? We are spiritual beings, eternal beings, and nothing we ever do can change that. Dare to dream, believe in that dream, and then the humdrum process of manifestation begins. Spectacular thoughts take form just as the mundane do, and with the same amount of effort. You are the artist who never sleeps, continually yet unconsciously rearranging the images on your life's canvas with brushstrokes of thought. Equally amazing as daring to dream is when someone deliberately uses his imagination, his thoughts, as a tool to reach his dreams. I often wonder why more people don't spend time visualizing, despite it being recognized worldwide as a powerful tool. I've come to the conclusion that it's because they simply do not yet understand the principle of thoughts become things. So few realize how shockingly powerful their thoughts are, and that with the same amount of discipline as it takes for them to brush their teeth each day, they can begin the process of making their dreams come true. Only a few intense minutes are necessary, just once a day, to spark the greatest of material breakthroughs, and it's all it's all in keeping with the rules. Even if it were possible to cheat, could life be any easier than getting what you think about? That's all I'm recording for today. Um, until next time.